Yo, what is happening? It's a late one, isn't it? We are here. You are watching Couchdoodles live with your host, Fragaboom. Today it's a late one because I had the awesome opportunity to meet up with, get my book signed. The man has a book called Sweat the Technique. He is the greatest rapper of all time. They call him the GOAT, the God MC, the R, 17th letter. Rakim. His book called Sweat the Technique came out a couple weeks ago, and he's been going up and down and all around the country performing with Big Daddy Kane and with EPMD. He was performing last night here in Atlanta. I couldn't see it. I wish I could have. I got kids. But he was also signing today at the Auburn Avenue Research Library in downtown Atlanta. In fact, I'm going to go over here real quick and grab the book so you guys can see the cover. And I was able, here we go. Hopefully you guys can see and hear me. Usually it's up and going by now. But here we are. Here is the book. It's called Sweat the Technique by Rakim. And the man, there it is. Where is it at? The man signed it to me, to Frega, from Rakim, which I will cherish this. I'm going to put it away and get the audio book, because the thing that I found out, which is really kind of incredible, excuse me while I get the stream up and going on this side so I can read your comments and answer some questions. I'm not seeing it. Oh, there it is. There we are. 7 of you are in here. They moved it down. That's really weird. I'm surprised they moved it there. What up, Solomon? Comic Vantage. What's up, my friend? Mr. Santiago. What up, Milton? So, I'm going to show you some stuff. I actually was able to do some things while they're visiting with Rakim. And one of the things that was really crazy, I brought my 5-year-old son. I brought Harrison. He's going to come down. Probably, he's supposed to be in bed, but he came. We just got home about 20 minutes ago, so this is why we're late. But when we were in the parking lot, I noticed somebody that I recognized. And the gentleman that was with him said, "Hey man, this is Grandmaster D." And I know who Grandmaster D is. He is the DJ from Houdini. That's back in the day. They did Friends and other really great songs. So I managed to ask him for a photo. This is the man right here with my son Harrison, goofing off, being a funny guy. We had a really good time. Rakim did a little bit of a talk about his book. He was interviewed by Dr. Regina Brady. She has a Bottom of the Map podcast, which is dedicated to Southern hip hop and the history of Southern hip hop. I know you guys are like, yo, you guys are comic book guys, but I love everything. I love hip hop. I love comics. Speaking of my little man, I see the dude. What up, Down Market Hoser? You picked up some Black Flag, and for that I am very happy. Hey, boy.
Little box.
Little box. What do you see? Oh, that's holding this up. That's our camera right there. You're live right now. What do you want to say to people?
Hello, you little.
Come this way. Come this way. Sit over here. You want to see what you look like?
Yeah.
See, this is our monitor. There you are. That's you, and that's what people are
Hi.
seeing right there. So you say hi to them.
Hi.
No, not over here. Over there.
Hi.
He took a shower because he was stinky. Did you have a good time meeting Rakim? You're over here, bud.
Me.
Yeah?
Me.
You met some other people today too, didn't you? Yeah. I love you. You have a good sleep, okay? Still got school in the morning.
Later.
I love you too.
Can I say bye to?
Yeah, you say bye to them. They're right out there.
Can I say bad word?
What bad word do you want to say? The B word? You can say it. It's fine.
My mother. Just record that
That's my kid. You are being recorded, but go on, get out of here before mama catches you.
Delete it.
Delete it. El Cameron, what up? That is my man, El Cameron, producer extraordinaire. It's a good day to be having him on the show today. We also had the opportunity while waiting in line after Rakim's dissertation and performance. I noticed somebody out of the corner of my eye, and it was none other than Public Enemy's Professor Griff. He creates the most dissonant, awesome beats for Chuck D and Flavor Flav to rap over. So I managed to see him. This is not me mean mugging, by the way. This is me with my nearsightedness trying to make sure that the camera was in focus. So that was Professor Griff. And thank you, Comic Book Bob, and welcome. What up, D? What up, TMC? What up, Paulus? Mr. Mobus, good to see you. Mr. Green, up late tonight. Yeah, we went out and we got to see the most incredible Rakim. And one of the things that was really cool about Rakim's thing is it was just a talk. He wasn't supposed to perform. He opened up the mic for a Q&A. Huge line, about 30 people, and one guy came in and said he was an activist and all this stuff, but wanted to hear do some rhymes. Rakim said no. The guy pulled a trumpet out, and Rakim said, "Oh shit, if you're gonna bring that out, you can do it." The guy kind of got embarrassed at first, and then decided that he was gonna do it. So here's a snippet from that. Oh man, there we go. See, I did that again. It's muted. Muted again. I fixed it. Anyhow, what I was saying is what a dream come true for that guy playing the trumpet to be able to play with the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Here, you see Rakim, myself, Harrison Danger down there, hiding between my legs, being a silly boy, and Rakim with a copy of The Grave and his Couchdoodles sketchbook. I gave him one. Told him it would be an honor to see him or know that he could put some lyrics in that notebook. So that was a good time, fun time. Gonna crack me a beer. Yeah, I saw it was muted, guys. Sorry about that. I muted it to do the trumpet thing, and in my to quote our great president, in my infinite wisdom. Yeah. Not the infinite wisdom, believe me. I forgot to unmute it. I need to be making a better habit of watching that sound button. Today's beer is Sweetwater 420 strain, Mango Kush Wheat Ale. Mango Kush sweet, tasty wheat ale. Tastes like a bag of weed. I don't know how I know that, I just know. All right, so today's day is Inktober's day is pattern, and my man D. Oots, good sir, who has been here every day, had sent me a private message saying some more of that pinky elbow shit. You're like, what is that? If you were here yesterday, I gave little tips about anatomy, and we're very fortunate today because today's day is the word pattern. So I thought I would take the opportunity to use both the day as pattern and do some drawing lessons. So what we're going to do is, today is arm day, and we're going to use patterns to talk about arm day. So I'm going to draw arms in a pattern, kind of turning the arms and turning the wrists, and we're going to do the grid thing to kind of show how the arm changes as you move it. Okay, so we're going to do pattern and we're going to do arm day. So if you guys have your sketch pads ready, if that's what you're into, we are going to kick over to the iPad view. And what up, Chauncey? We're gonna switch over to iPad view. I gotta do it correctly. Start broadcast. I gotta add that as a camera. It'll be there in a second. Oh, it wants my Touch ID. It does. Come on now. There it is. iPad display. We are in. There it is. It's all blurry. Wow, sorry about that. I went out of my way to make sure that we wouldn't have any tech errors. And it doesn't matter, man. The best laid plans make the spirits laugh, they say. That's the funny joke, right? Best laid plans make the spirits laugh. Okay, so today what we're gonna do is the idea of pattern. So here we've got a blank layer. I can go straight in without the gray chunk. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do a few arms. And what we're gonna do for pattern is we're gonna start with the deltoid. Whoopsie. Let me just tap that out. Go to the correct pen. And here we go. So with the deltoid, I'm just going to draw this first arm. Like so. And put our, I'm just going to draw some rough style fists because we're talking about arms, but we can also talk about orientation of things as well. So here's our first arm right here and how it goes into the chest, and let's take that middle finger and do this. So here's our first arm. Now what we're going to do is take the idea of this arm and go through, create that other layer, and do the mesh. But I'm going to do a different kind of mesh because I'm going to show sort of the peaks of something, right? Or I'll do the mesh first. Let me do the mesh first, and then what we'll do is show you where the peaks are with the mesh and how things change. So let's just do this. Go down like this. So imagine this is a wireframe. Like that. Kind of like how we were doing Spider-Man's arms yesterday, but we're going to use the mesh as an example of how things are going to work. So we got that goes around. That. And it's almost like we were talking about yesterday, how Colossus, certain parts of him work really well because he's got that, what do you call it, the contours that go. Now, here's what we're going to call the peak points, right? I'm going to pop them in there in purple. Let's call the peak of the deltoid here, the peak of the tricep here, and we'll just call them high points, right? High point on the wrist that goes with the pinky, and the wrist that goes with the thumb, the elbow. And we've got the peak that goes to the front of the pectoral. Dream Movie Cast, what's up, man? Welcome to the thing. I've got to edit them, and here's the issue. One of my computers has gone bad. My newest computer, my laptop, has gone bad and hasn't been operating well. So I needed to get a new laptop. It's coming Tuesday. I'm going to install Premiere on that and start cutting. And I've been discussing format. I've been discussing format of how that'll go. And what I've decided to do, instead of just featuring the full interviews, because I want you guys to come back for those, sneaky Dan, sneaky me, is I'm going to have sort of like a question from the list. Like, for example, one of the questions is, what do you do when you don't know what to do? It's a very insightful question that I ask of my 24 guests. Of course, I'm not going to put all 24 up. I'll pick some highlights, so you're going to get your answer from someone like my Mignola, somebody like, hello Brain, Ken Lashley, Dennis Cowan, Rob Liefeld. I'll throw in some of the highlights. So it's going to be sort of clips of the interviews versus the full interviews, because again, I want you to come back and watch them. Why do I want you to watch them? And I'll tell you how you are helpful. And in fact, I'm going to take this moment right now to tell you how you can help me, which in return, I help you by giving you these lessons and things. So the way the way that YouTube works is for monetization. I used to have monetization, which was you have a certain amount of views, and then for every 1,000 views, you get $1, right? And then back in February of 2018, they restructured monetization and said you needed to have at least 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of your videos viewed in a year's time. 4,000 hours is a lot of time, and a lot of my videos are very short. So in my mind, I thought, hey, maybe what I'll do is create a 3-hour video, a time-lapse video of all my time lapses that I had done in the previous years, and have them run at 30 seconds a clip. And if anybody wanted to watch it in the background, what that would do is scoop up 3 hours for me. So if you guys want to help me out with that, what monetization means is that in these chats and things, there's a thing called Super Chat Allowed, which will give priority to certain comments and things like that. And with that, I can use that money to make the channel better. So that's one of the things. And again, another thing is being able to talk and draw, which we will get to. What's up, Akuma? What's up, everybody, all 22 of you? Let's get back into the pattern. So we are doing pattern right now, and right now I showed you an arm. So the reason I'm showing you this is we are going to see how things change when we change the orientation of the purple dots, and that's like when things twist, right? So if I was to say draw this same arm, let's draw this arm here, but let's turn the orientation of the fist here so that the knuckles are facing us. And this is going to be a very loose interpretation of what I'm talking about. It looks similar, but what ends up happening, and this hopefully will help you when you're drawing down the line. Let's get that mesh going again. These are going to be super loose because it's late, and I'm trying to get you guys going on something quicker. So we've got that mesh that goes across, like so, like this. Let's get that purple back, make it a little bigger. What's going to happen here when this twists, and now this bit is here, and this one that was here is now back there, it's going to turn that elbow back that way. This is going to move this way. This one's going to move here. this one's going to move here and this one's going to go here. And even though there's not a tremendous amount of change here where this turned, all of these things, you'll notice when you turn, if you do it, look at your own arm and do it. I'm going to bring the camera back. If you had your arm like this and you turn it like this, you'll notice even though there's only a wrist turn, there's subtle changes in where that point goes. Same with this. If I'm like this and I do this, slight turns. So when you get people like an editor or anybody reviewing your work that says, hey, your drawings are coming off a little stiff, what they're talking about is this. You may have a good pose, but let's say you have a guy who's going like this, but you have your elbow pointing down and this muscle moving that way, but you have this facing this way and this muscle turned there. You go, but all the muscles are right, but the interactions of the muscles are where the stiffness occurs. So you get sort of, I'm going to get a green line in here and show you sort of the fluidity that it happens. So you get this, when this guy twists here, this moves ever so slightly, this moves ever so slightly, and so does that. Another thing happens when we do movement for the arm, and what that is if you have your arm straight, like we have in this drawing here, the bicep has a longer, almost bread loaf appearance. The second you move and flex that bicep, it balls up. Okay, so that's something that happens. Another thing too, if someone's going to throw a punch, I'll just create a new layer. We don't even have to stick to Inktober. We can just do some drawing letter lessons and stuff. So let's say the guy is throwing a punch, and let's for the sake of things do it with just slowly building it like we did yesterday. Let's say here's the shape of the shoulder, the tube, and then the arm, and then the fist punching. Okay. Now, what ends up happening with a lot of guys, I'm gonna do this two ways. I'm gonna do it the wrong way and the right way. So here you have this gesture, and they both look the same. So let's go ahead and aim for the wrong way. Okay, I'm gonna reduce the opacity on this, bring in our beast brush. Here's the wrong way. They know, wait a second, a deltoid does this. I know that the shape of a deltoid, it does this. And then I know the underside of an arm, the tricep goes like this. The bicep, he said it flattens out when it does that. And the elbow goes there. And let me put the fist like this. Okay? So now you've got this. And technically all the muscles are in the right place, but their interactions are wrong. And we're going to do the same thing with the one below, but kind of make it a little more correct. So if someone was going to punch in this sort of way, this goes up like this. You're going to see more of the underside of that. This is going to go like this. Since we have that twist there and these are connected, we know that like we said, the heel and the pinky, this is more correct in the way it should go. And again, if I was to go with that purple thing, these are the relations of the peaks. That's going to be on the other side, but that's the relation of the peaks on those things. And again, they do that as this twists, these move in accordance. So there's a pattern to do it. What up, XYZ? Welcome to Couchdoodles Live. I went off I went off the reservation. Instead of doing Inktober, I'm doing drawing tutorials because that's what I feel like doing today. And we're doing a pattern, right? I'm gonna do now, since we're gonna do full body workout today. We're gonna do leg day next. So why don't we jump into the concept of leg day? What is leg day, you might ask? I'm about to show you. All right, let me jump in and show you some tricks. There's a thing, a copyright was claimed against my YouTube. I just got an email about a content claim, a copyright. I wonder what it is, because I made sure to take all kinds of stuff out. Maybe they're doing copyright claims because I showed comic images. We'll find out what that is another time, and I'll talk about it tomorrow. So a leg. One of the cool things about a leg. Let's draw a leg real quick. Let me make that a little thinner. We're going to do a front view of a leg. I'm going to draw this side, this side, this side. Do the bit for the foot. What you need to know about legs, which is a really fun little thing. It's a little tiny truth about leg muscles that this will change your game when it comes to drawing legs, because legs are a pain in the ass to draw, and this will give you some cool stuff. Is this love seat, Doodles? Does this count as a couch? What up, Brian? It's good to see you, man. So here we are with a leg. The cool thing about a leg, we can also do the idea in animation. You see this too. You see curves against straight, curve, straight, curve, straight. So there's that concept too. But what I'm about to teach you about is something really cool, which is a little shortcut. I'm going to break out the new layer on this with the red ink again. Outside of the leg is always higher than the inside of the leg. Okay, see the peak of this one and the peak of this one, and it's based. There's not based on, because it's nature. The only place it doesn't happen is on the ankle, and the ankle is where it changes direction. The ankle is. The concept of this in Italian is called contrapposto. Okay, and contrapposto works in a lot of places. Like, for instance, if somebody is running towards you, there's a common mistake that you see. Like, so let's say if I drew this guy and he's throwing his fist and he's coming at us, these are going to be very loose drawings, so if you bear with me while we do them. And we got this arm back and he's looking cool here, right? Oh boy, there's a guy, he's punching at us. It's very superhero, very cool. And I'm gonna do this on a separate layer too, just so I can, for the sake of things. This here, if I all of a sudden threw this leg forward and we go, it's dynamic, and look, we can see the bottom of his foot and everything, and that leg's going away. But there's something wrong with this. There's something really wrong with this, and what it is there's a lack of contrapposto and a lack of balance, right? Contrapposto, we're saying, is things alternating, or the highs and lows, this sort of thing. And right now, this is doing this and this, as far as his shoulders and his hips. Now watch, I'm going to turn this layer off, and we're going to do this right by creating a new layer and doing it right. So if his shoulders are going this way, we're going to make his hips go that way, which means this leg would be doing that fun dynamic thing, and that leg would be the one going back. And you see how it changes things? So now we've got contrapposto. This leg is forward. Again, the highs are here, lows are here, high here, low here, a shift there. So that's sort of a little secret of the legs. patterns are starting to form. Patterns are starting to form. Here we are with patterns. Speaking of patterns, these damn glitches and tech things. I took great care in making sure no one would call. All the stuff was connected, and for some reason we still had a crazy break in our service. What can you do? You are watching Couchdoodles. I'm your host, Fragaboom. Thank you so much for being here. We are currently 20 minutes into this feed and 20 minutes into the other. So let's talk again about some more patterns. And I'm going to do something that I call the shortcut for the face. Shortcut for the face. I wish I had like a effects mic. Shortcut for the face. Everybody's familiar with a standard toaster and a tin can. The reason I bring these shapes up, I'm going to draw them for you right now. We've got a toaster, which for the most intents and purposes looks like this, and a can that looks like this. This is the idea of the can and toaster. And in the can and toaster, we can put the contour lines. This is the divider of it, and we can say that those are sort of the 3D shapes of a toaster and a can. It is. Hey, Mr. Yaki, this is not airplane mode, because if I did that, then there would be no Wi-Fi and all that. No, I think it had something to do with adding the iPad, because as soon as I added the iPad, it crashed. So maybe I need to add the iPad before the stream starts, and I think that's probably what happened. So here's our tin can and toaster thing. Now, if you can draw a tin can and a toaster at any angle, so let's use the idea of looking at the underside of a toaster like this. There's a underside of a toaster like that, and say that's the center line. And if I put a tin can on the bottom of this like that, divided that by half and put a little disc there, watch what happens when I use that as a basis for a structure. I'm going to come in with a different color here so we can be even clearer. If I take this and I say that's the brow and that's the underside of the face, and this is the brow too, suddenly I have Cro-Magnon man. Suddenly I have the makings for what would be an upshot. And this is like a cruder version of it, obviously, because I'm drawing much faster, but you get the idea. So if I was to go back and, what do you call it? I don't want to lock that. Let me delete it. Boop, boop, delete. Gotta unlock it first, apparently. Unlock. Why don't we just clear it? Clear it. Go back into this one with our red, and let's say we want to draw a down shot. We're looking down at the top of the toaster, and this is where the toast would come out, and sort of draw lightly through it and say the tin can is right here, and there's the ear, and we connect it. Tin can and toaster. Go back into our other layer with the blue, and this is a way that you can at least start the basis of looking down on somebody's head. Again, these are really rough, but toaster and can. And the reason why you want to think in this tin can and toaster sort of mentality is to start thinking of things in three-dimensional forms. Dream movie cast. Who is the female background vocals in Fragaboom? Man, you are an insightful dude asking that. I do not remember her last name. I'm sorry I don't, but this was early '94, so this is over 25 years ago. Her first name was Marisol, and she was quite talented. We recorded We recorded the Fragaboom demo at a place called Black Hole Records, and it was on Rosecrans off the 405. Black Hole Records had a guy named Mace Man running the engineering. I remember him. Dave goes by Pimp Dad, also a great artist, guy named Dave Lewis, produced the track. He's also the one saying, zoom, 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 give me some room, give me some of that Fragaboom. Marty Soul is also the background vocalist on the song I Love You. And then we have two other MCs, Dave, Pimp Dad Dave Lewis, and my brother David Fraga is the other vocalist. But it was recorded, I think, in March of '94. Pulp Fiction had just come out. And an interesting point regarding Pulp Fiction is right around the corner from Black Hole Records, and we went and ate there, and I was like, yo, I just did a rhyme about Pulp Fiction, and all of a sudden I'm in the diner from Pulp Fiction. The diner from Pulp Fiction was a place called Hawthorne Grill, and it was right around the corner from where we recorded Fragaboom. I was able to go there a couple times. I even sat in the place where Jules and Vince sat. I ate bacon because it tastes good, and sausage because it tastes good. And then I went back another time to show somebody the Hawthorne Grill, and sadly, it is now an AutoZone. It's an AutoZone. Doesn't that suck? Let us now do some other fun stuff. So the way I learned how to break things down into form and to visualize, oh, you know what, I forgot about this. You guys can see everything that this sees, so I can always jump back and forth into different things. Oh, you can't see that. That's my Doom Patrol script. Dun dun dun, you saw that. Let's go into drawing books, right? So a lot of what I do is stuff I've learned from drawing books. This one here, Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain by Betty Edwards, is where I learned about blind drawing, contour drawing, and there are some other things. And let me see if I can find files. I keep forgetting how to search on this thing. It's not like that. It's not like that. It's like that. FDS. Lecture outline. Boom. Here it is. The free flow drawing system. This is how I learned how to do, for lack of a better phrase, what Kim Jong-gi does. First time I saw Kim Jong-gi in his work, I had seen a video and it was posted under Super Annie, and it was this bald Korean dude and what looked like just magic coming out of this pen. And not only was it detailed, but it was in correct perspective and multiple versions of things, living things, cars, people, animals, buildings, everything. First thing that happened to me is I went into denial. This isn't real. This couldn't happen. This guy's an alien, right? You can see in my outline here. I wish I could mark this up. I probably can, but let's see. What does it say? It does say that. Hopefully it doesn't mess it up. So I'm not gonna do it. Oh shoot, it's writing on there. Let me turn that off. The story of why the system was developed. Seeing Kim Jong-gi's work for the first time and reaction it created. Denial, he's not human, he's a mutant, he must have photographic memory. Why can't I do it? Realizing that I shouldn't think or say I can't or I'll never, unless it's I can't get enough or I'll never stop working at getting better. Identified the boundaries of problems or hurdles of why I can't and solve them systematically. I didn't have enough visual vocabulary in my toolbox. Like, if you asked me to draw an engine from memory, I couldn't, because I didn't really quite observe an engine in the kind of way that I could draw it from memory. I know that there's a battery and a whatever, but I would be faking it. What you see and what you draw don't match up. That one is a big one. You know, some of us have drawn looking at live, real life, still life, and it just doesn't look right. The images in your mind's eye don't stay long enough to capture. They're weak or fleeting. That is, to me, the one, like probably the hardest one out of the batch. Because as artists, let me rewind a bit. I've met some people that say when I read a book or when I hear a story, I don't visualize. I don't see pictures. It exists. Maybe some of you watching right now, some of you 23, my favorite number, as you know, because of the curvies. Some of you watching may have that same thing. I don't. When I think, I don't see pictures. It's maybe comes in the form of a feeling, right? Maybe it comes in the form of a memory or sound or whatever. But being able to visualize, and not only be able to visualize, but have that thing stay long enough. I found my frustration, especially in my early days drawing comics, that I'd see something cool and I'd scramble to get it, and it was always like the really weak compromise of what I thought I saw. And it was very frustrating. Very, very, very frustrating. The most frustrating on this list. And lastly, as you see on this list, you are married to the results of your art, perfectionism. And Akuma, you mentioned perfectionism. That's my crushing vice. I'm going to go in reverse order on this one, okay? I'm not going to give you the full free-flowing drawing system. But eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this so you can see. And I've been giving this thing away now for a few years, because I wrote this about 2.5 years ago. And these are notes for myself for when I do the lectures on it. But let's go to the married to the results and perfectionism part, because Akuma, you brought up how that's something going on for you. It's a very common thing. I've suffered from it myself. In fact, I used to be afraid of drawing in sketchbooks because if I ruined a page, I ruined the book. How many of you, show of hands, because I can see your hands, how many of you have felt that? Probably a lot. That said, in my exploration to basically kill all of these hurdles systematically, I thought about excellence. Excellence in sports, excellence in musical performance, excellence in acting, excellence in directing, excellence in general. And I arrived at the conclusion that for everything that we see that is what we call audience facing, including this live performance, but these live performances are in essence what I'm about to talk about. For every second you see out there of a NFL player playing, or an NBA basketball player, or a singer, dancer, actor, stage performer, whatever performing, for every second you see, there are hours of rehearsal where they trip and fall, where they feel like giving up. I almost didn't do tonight's podcast, or whatever we call this, live stream, because I drove an hour and a half to go see Rakim. Drove home. My son was very fussy. He wanted to eat. Of course, he wanted sushi, because that's his cure-all. He's 5. He loves sushi. But what happens is rehearsal allows you to crash and burn. Rehearsal is permission to, pardon my French, but rehearsal is permission to fuck up. And we should feel free to fuck up. So what I recommend you do, and this also helps with capturing things in your mind's eye, but this is more about the act of perfectionism. Find a pen. The one I used was a Bic stick. I got it from one of those clicker Bics. I got it from a hotel room. Draw with nothing but that Bic pen for a week. And do it on copy paper. Do it on the flip pad that comes on the side of your bed at a hotel room or a motel room. And just draw, and don't care if you mess up. Just don't care. The exercise is to feel comfortable in fucking up. But what you're going to find is that your mind will start to create these preemptive strikes, almost like a chess player, right? You look at the battlefield and you go, oh, if I do this, then I can do this. And your brain will kind of rise to the occasion. So those are all rehearsals. So it's just sketch and pen for a week, and you're going to find a freedom. Now, the images in your mind, in your mind's eye, going back to this, the images in your mind's eye don't stay long enough for you to capture. Wow, that's opaque as fuck, man. They shouldn't have done that. Let's take care of that. The images in your mind's eye don't stay long enough to capture. They're weak or fleeting. Let's go to Wenger.com. Okay? This is a guy named Win Wenger, and he's got a thing in his book. Look how outdated and old this website looks. Looks stodgy. But look at this. You are brighter than you think. You are more than a match for almost any problem, challenge, opportunity, or question you might encounter. Click here for free, easy-to-use, world-famous techniques to bring out your natural genius. So I read a book by him called The Einstein Factor. We're going to image streaming. Boom, because it's on his website. So this book, The Einstein Factor, is about accelerated learning. It's also about getting into your subconscious. It's opening parts of your pathways in your brain that you may not necessarily be using. So your brains are made of axons and dendrites and neurons, and I forget how all of them work, but they're like freeways and connections between them. You can't build more of them, but you can work on bringing more connections to them. And that's sort of the thesis behind the Einstein Factor. And one of his chapters was on this thing called image streaming. And in image streaming, it is sort of dipping into your subconscious and stuff. What I found by doing image streaming was a byproduct, kind of like when they make gasoline, the byproduct is diesel. Well, diesel is just as valuable as gas, sometimes more. The byproduct that I found out through image streaming was there was this sort of reinforcement. Let's go back to image streaming. I'm not going to go through a detailed thing, but how to image stream. What you need is an external focus to describe your images to, a tape recorder with a blank tape, or simple dictaphone like every office used to have, provides you with a potential listener for the all-essential focus. Call in a friend or a phone call up a friend to keep him or her on the line, and you have even better, a live listener to serve as your external focus. Again, this website is slightly outdated, but I'm going to tell you, you can use your iPhone. You can use your regular phone. The main thing is that you have something to record. So the idea here is, what up, my dumb question? It says, uh-oh, we're down. Hopefully we're not down. It's looking like we're up. That's weird. Sorry about that if we were down. Threw me off. So with image streaming, and again, we're going back to the concept of being able to, oops, don't like that. Let me do that one more time. Undo, get out of there. So we got the images in your mind's eye don't stay long enough to catch them. They're weak or fleeting. So how is it that we can strengthen our ability to have an image in our mind? I heard stories about watchmakers that would create these elaborate watches and build them in their mind and test them in their mind until they worked, and then that was the blueprint of how they built their watches. It's like an engineering thing, and it used to blow my mind. But then my mind correlated the Kim Jong-il thing and the watches, and I said there's something to that. Connected it to image streaming. So I'm going to teach you guys about image streaming right now. Oh yeah. My dumb question. It did go down. It went down for like a couple minutes. I don't know why. I think it was because I turned the iPad on midstream versus having it on and clicking over to it. So here's image streaming in a nutshell. You start recording. You close your eyes. You get into a nice calm state, and whatever you see in your mind's eye, do not censor yourself. It could be a naked lady. It could be something gruesome. It could be something not gruesome. It could be something light and fluffy. It could be a scene. But the main thing is you focus on all of your senses. Okay? We're going to go into NLP at a certain point, and neurolinguistics programming says that different people operate under different priorities of things. Some people are visually oriented, some people are oriented on how they feel, and some people are more oriented on sound. So that's why you get advertising like, look and see our ideas, see how you feel, wait till you hear. They're trying to capture everybody's thing. So like my priorities, mine are probably look, feel, hear. Some of you guys might be feel, look, see, hear. Some might be hear, feel, look. Some of you might just be hear, feel. Okay? So when you're doing image streaming, you're going to describe things in all 5 senses and also include how you feel. So there's 6 things. So you close your eyes. I'm falling down what seems to be a cylinder. There's corrugated metal. I can smell metallic rust. There's dust in the air, makes my nose itch. I land. There's a puff of smoke. There's cotton candy everywhere. It's sticky. Suddenly I'm swimming. You know, anyway, you talk like that. I mean, it sounds like crazy talk. I know it does. But it's not, when you do an image streaming, it's not for anybody but yourself. But the main thing is you're talking in all of those senses. So do that for, say, a minute. Okay? Just 1 minute. You can build it up to 5 minutes, even longer. But let's just try a minute. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go back to the beginning of that recording after you've dictated what you're seeing in person and live, and you're going to play it back to yourself, and you're going to listen to it. And as you listen to it, it's going to be like watching a movie on a DVR or a DVD or Blu-ray or whatever technology you're using, smoke signals. And as you're listening back to it, you're going to try to visualize and feel it exactly like you did the first time when you dictated it. Third time, this is essential that you do this. You don't want to type it out. You want to handwrite it. You want to handwrite your thing. And this is the hardest part because you're sitting there handwriting. But there's a point to it. As you're writing, I am, as you play and hit stop, falling down a cylinder. Suddenly, you've slowed it down to a crawl, and you're handwriting it, and you're thinking about that moment almost as if you press pause on a DVD or a Blu-ray or an MPEG or what have you, smoke signal. You're pausing it. I'm falling. I see and smell rust. But that handwriting it down, you're actually tasting and smelling the rust even more vividly because you're doing that. Now, what ends up happening through this process is your brain will at first kind of go, whoa, wait a second, what's happening here? What's going on? Why is he doing this? I better be ready for this next time. And then you do it again and you do it again. And what ends up happening is your brain will start to step up to the plate and say, this is how he wants to operate, or she or whomever is doing it. Therefore, my images and stuff better be vividly clear. And then eventually you get to a point where you don't have to listen and do all the image streaming. You're able to go, I'm imagining a chair in a black space. I'm imagining that chair is a French Renaissance chair, however you imagine it, with purple velvet and wood, and the legs have lion's paws, and it's a dark mahogany wood, and the back is cushioned, but it's got little tassels on the end. No, it doesn't have tassels on the end. In fact, it has 2 growling lion heads. So you're constantly changing it. There's a blue light on it. No, now there's a red light on it. Let's look above it. Let's look below it. Let's go wide lensed on it. And suddenly your brain is able to kind of create a virtual space for it. And that's essentially how to overcome what you see it here in 3.3, which is the images in your mind's eye don't stay long enough to capture. They're weak or fleeting. Let's go back to 3.2 here. What you see and what you draw don't match up. Okay, that is where I brought the Betty Edwards book into effect. The drawing on the right side of the brain. And the most useful thing that I found about that book, and it's a book that my grandfather used to teach from, is it doesn't necessarily teach you how to draw, but it teaches you how to see. And in teaching you how to see, it teaches you accuracy. What I mean by that, show of hands, how many of you guys have used an Intuos tablet? I don't mean like a Wacom where you're drawing on the screen. I mean like the little tablet on the side where what you're doing with your hand, the cursor does. I'm sure a lot of you have. Your hand is down here, but the cursor is up here, right? So what I think about when I think about blind drawing, and if you haven't seen it, go ahead and look it up. The concept of blind drawing, like let's say we're drawing our friend over here. You imagine that a cursor is going along the line of his sleeve, down the line of the hand, down the line of the string. So what I can do right now, I wish I could see both screens at the same time. Well, I can't use light drawing for right now because I can't do both. See what you see and what I see. But what you're doing is, what up, Marcus? Dumb question. I see a hand. Does that mean you have a question? Or is that a hello? I'm not sure what that means. But okay, going back to what I was saying, the blind drawing, what blind drawing does for you is it's a calibration system of your drawing hand and your eye. Your eye, consider your eye the cursor, okay? And how you're able to focus. And sometimes you're able to focus on minutia. So if you're focusing on here on the frame, you can focus on my head, or you can focus the whole screen all the way to the comics rack and all the way over here to my beard. That's the whole picture. So you're collecting the picture that way, and you're going to the minutia. But the calibration through blind drawing is not giving any oh, hands, man, thank you. Jeez Louise, you guys really did show hands. See, I was being a jokey douchebag, and you guys got me. So bazinga. You want to get that calibration between your hand and your eye. So do that in real life. Like I'm looking at my office. Let me show you what I see out here so you guys can see what you guys look like. There's my camera. There's my Cintiq. There's all my drawing books, my fan, my beer. That's you guys, so I can see that. Here's the iPad. So this is what I see. But if where did I put it? Did it fall? What the hell? I lost my cursor. Hold on a second. You guys look at this for a second while I find my pen, because I said, oh, there it is. It's in my belly. So I'm gonna pretend we're the cursor, but we would guide it along the edge, and as you're using your eye along the edge, your drawing hand is going to be doing those things. And you're gonna also, while you're looking at this, you're also feeling the idea of this sort of peripherally and going up and down all of these edges and things. Okay? So what that does is it creates a calibration system between what your eye and your hand are doing. Why is that important? Well, if you get images in your mind's eye clear enough that they exist, you're able to essentially trace them onto paper as if they were projected. Ta-da! And then here we go with the last one, which is really the first one. Not having enough in your visual toolbox. Not having enough in your visual toolbox. Bunga, 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 bunga. All right, so maybe what we'll do right now is go back to the interwebs and download a picture of a parrot in the wild. I'm just selecting something for the sake of doing this. Let's find a good one. I need one with multiple vantage points. Well, I picked the wrong one. How about this? Ocean view. Ocean Vista. Let's try Ocean Vista. Images. This one does, actually I like this one. Copy. Let's go into this and paste. Scale it up. Okay, so we want to do, this is what I do when I collect visual vocabulary. Okay, this is one of the things I do in the act of observation. The first thing I do when I look at anything is where is the horizon line? This is a wide angle shot. I know that the horizon line is here. Okay? The second thing I ask myself when I look at anything is where's the vanishing point? And we can tell by looking at this, by the way these lines here are configuring that it's somewhere off of the page. And then we've got these are pretty much perpendicular to each other. Okay, so I ask, where's the horizon, which is that line? Where's the eye level? So a good way to go with eye level is since it's down here, this person was probably in the water when they took this picture. That's something that we can gather from this. But I'd also ask about the weight of the shapes. You know, if this is my horizon, the weight of the shape is mostly in the middle. And I go, okay, there's that sort of weight distribution. How much of the horizon is in there? So this is like if I'm going to gather this. I also will do things like when I'm in restaurants and count how many floors. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 floors. So we got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 floors. Okay, and this building has a curve to it. So we also know that if we were looking at the top view, it probably does something to that effect, or maybe is a little wider and goes like that. Why this is important when we gather information is if I was to draw this scene from memory, and I'm not going to draw it in the exact size, but we're going to try to mimic it the best I can from memory, using that act of observation. As I remember, the horizontal line was here, the vanishing point was here, we had a bit of this here, a bit of this here, this was here, that went like that. It was 7 floors, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I remember some umbrella things here. These all went to that vanishing point. And I didn't observe, I mean, again, we didn't finish the full observation, but there were a bit of this happening in there. Okay, so that's my essential capture of that in the time where I was asking myself questions when I observed this. So if we turn that photo back on and turn that off, they're relatively close to one another from quick memory, right? We got those umbrellas here. We got all those shapes. I didn't get the bit I did not get were all the little details of these windows, because I didn't count them. But these are the sort of things that I do. Let's talk about the other one, right? That we were I mentioned a car engine, because the only engine I really know is my own. So if I was to draw my car engine, if I was to recall it fully, I know that there's a radiator here. Fill up the wiper fluid here, but I drive a Jetta, so it's got like this weird hard thing here, and there's a cable that goes here. That's just from my weak observation of my engine, because I didn't quite look at it, because I haven't observed it in that sort of way. So if we go 2009 Jetta engine, looking into it, this is essentially what I see in my mind's eye. And see, I was completely off. Because I didn't actively observe it. So that the idea of collecting these things requires us to actively observe. So again, active observation makes us ask those questions. So let's go here. Clearly the horizon on this one is way above, like if we did vanishing points, it's like way off of here. But we can also look at the relationships of shapes to each other. So we know that in my mind, I thought it was a big square, but it's not. It's more of a rectangle, and the distribution of these shapes is 1, 2, an L, a box. So in my mind, I could collect this and say that is the word O-L-O-O. Here is the washer fluid, and here's the other thing. But the active observation breaks down into what up, Sticky Art Channel? The active art the active part of active observation is to look and break things down, and you could do it at your own speed. You don't have to do a whole engine. Work big to small. Like I said yesterday, think of if you're drawing a forest, think about the shape of the forest in relationship to the mountains. Then you start to break down the individual trees that make up that shape. And then you can go in and say from there, the light direction that breaks up the leaves is like that. So you work basically big to small. So in this car engine, we go, okay, we see that rectangle. That is the shape of the engine. Then we start to break up the parts. Then we could go in to those parts, and then because we've observed and saw the proportion and relationships to one another, we know that this takes up this much space versus that, but we don't have to focus on that anymore, because once we have an understanding in our mind's eye that this is this big next to this, then we can start focusing on the minutia of the shapes, because all the big stuff is taken care of. Hopefully that makes sense. And if it doesn't, I'm more than happy to answer any questions. We're approaching the hour mark. Even more so, it is 12 midnight plus 11 minutes here on the East Coast, here in lovely Georgia. I hope you guys are doing good wherever you are. You guys have any questions before we get to the wind down? And the wind down today, we're going to look at a couple of comics, but I would love to hear some questions from you guys. So let's jump into some questions as you look at my logo. Logo's out. I know you guys have probably a 15 to 30 second delay, so I'll wait a second if you guys have questions, and then if there are no questions at all, Sticky Art, you're in Cali. I miss California, but I miss the people, I miss the restaurants, but I don't miss California. Just you guys and good food. Questions? No questions? None? Okay. I'm going to jump into comic book review fun time. Comic review fun time will be me taking a look at comics that I like, that I liked, that I loved, and just talk to you about them. Shane, have a good one, buddy. Thanks for joining. You get some rest. You deserve it. You work hard. Hugs to you and your Z, and thoughts and love, and thinking about your brother and thinking about you. I hope you're well, buddy. All right, so we're going to jump into some of my favorite comics. Okay, one of my favorites, and I called it my gateway comic. Oh, bam, XYZ, you asked the question right as I was jumping in. Here we go. Look at that. You hit a pause. What day am I on? Well, today is now the 11th, but we did pattern today with some arms and things. So what I'm going to do is handle this one. Do you have any advice on drawing characters' heads consistently in comics from different angles? I do. One is work. You can create them based on real people. And real people, the reason why real people work and why you see it done a lot is there is a consistency to real people. The other thing is to make a sculpture, work it from that, or do what I do, and what that is sort of like a character turnaround. So you got a frontal, a three-quarter, and a full profile. You can also do down shots and up shots, but what you do is you do extrapolation. I'll open up something here in Procreate. Let's kill all of this. That was that. Okay, so if I was to draw a frontal face, like this, and a lot of times people say at the end of the day you end up drawing yourself, and also in comics you have to draw so fast under deadline that things end up getting formulaic. Jim Lee's faces look a lot similar to other Jim Lee faces, and same with like John Byrne or Rob Liefeld or whomever, and that's just because we have to do things quite quick, and we don't have a lot of time to do it. But to answer your question, we'll do this. So I'm gonna do something here in Procreate, which is called drawing guide, And what that'll allow me to do is drawing assist, and drawing assist will stay on those perpendicular lines. So we got this here, landmark, eyebrow, bottom of the eye, bottom of the nose, mouth, bottom of the lip, bottom of the chin. Okay, so those are landmarks of that face. Turn assisted off. So if I was to draw a profile of this person, I know that that brow is there, that the bottom of the eye is there, that the bottom of the nose is there. A cool thing to remember is if you draw like a rectangle here, that's how you can get a good nose shape. We know the brow is there and such. We know that the mouth is there. We know we said the bottom of the lip is there, and we said that the chin is here. So for the most part, this is the side view of that person proportionally. And the 3/4 works as well. And the down shot works the same way. There's just sort of perspective compression that happens in that. So you can do that with different shapes. So if I'm gonna, I like more cartoony stuff. So if I drew a guy that had sort of a bean face here, and I drew his nose real big, and his eyes real beady, and his mouth real low, a little pokey ears, and big bushy eyebrows, right? I'm gonna do more of a cartoony guy like this. I can still use these proportions here. If I was gonna draw a side view of this guy, I can still do a side view of what this guy would look like based on using these lines. Hopefully that's helpful to you in regard to consistency and staying on model. Let's see. A Patriots coach was writing down everything happening on the game tonight. Seemed to be doing what you were saying about writing down to visualize. Yeah, he might be, because it could be a collection of like memories. Like I remember when I first started directing the Ricky Gervais show, I had adversaries and allies. I just want to call them that, because on my crew there are a lot of people that thought I didn't deserve the job because I didn't come from animation, and then there were the people there that thought I did deserve the job because I proved myself with the previous work I had done on R.J. Berger, and that I understood the process. Well, one of the people that just didn't take to me right out the bat was my producer. And our first couple meetings, while I was in the meeting, I'm doodling, just sketching on the scripts and whatever. And that producer had complained to our GM that I was tuned out. He's tuned out. All he did all meeting long was just doodle, like he didn't give a shit. And my GM said, I will go on record and guarantee you he could probably repeat the whole meeting back to you verbatim. And part of his secret is because he's doodling. And she was right. When I doodle, I create associations. It's a lot like the image streaming, and that's how our brain works. So I know that during this squiggle, or while drawing this tree or this toad, we were talking about budget issues and those sort of things. So our brains work in funny ways. It's kind of interesting, but I highly recommend what I call the full brain system. We have a right side of our brain, and we have a left side of our brain. And I talked about it in a couple of my older videos. If you guys check some of the older ones, you'll see I talk about the idea, and I came up with some catchy names. There's a ninja-neer, because I like ninjas, and an imagine-ninja. So imagine engineering is the use of your imagination. Ninjaneering is the use of hard, tried and true skills like math and perspective and vectors and things like that that are unbreakable. So our left side of our brain figures out formulas and tries to put things in a grid of things that are tried and true and work. So you know that perspective works no matter what you do. You can do it wrong, but if you do it right, you can't break it. So perspective would fall into the left brain side of Ninjaneering, and something like image streaming and what I do with the free flow drawing system is sort of more right brain. But what I try to do in the Couchdoodles Doodle Dojo is bring those two together and have sort of synergy to them, and how they can help each other, especially given that our days are not, we're not robots. We have good days and bad days, but our brains, on certain times, I will rely on my left side of the brain because I know it can be worked as a crutch. I prefer the right side, but the left side I end up using. No problem, XYZ. Happy to answer. You can probably see I'm winding down. I did a full session today with my Doom Patrol director. Drove out to Atlanta to go see the unmatched, incomparable Rakim. In fact, I'm gonna show you guys some stuff because it got killed in the original stream, but I was able to meet. Well, I met him a long time ago. This is back in April of 2018. First time I met Rakim. This was today, and you can see down between my legs my 5-year-old. This is Rakim. Also met Grandmaster D of Houdini, Professor Griff of Public Enemy. And here we go. We are back to Et Moi. You guys, thank you so much. Today's session was a fun one. I apologize for how late it is. Usually we are going on an average at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 Pacific. And I usually do more detailed drawing, but I felt like today might be a day to jump into talking about some other things. Thank you again for joining. I'll give you guys one more minute if you have any more questions. If not, we'll wrap it up and call it a night. I'm gonna take a sip. If you guys have a beverage, have here. This toast is for you. And again, if you want to help me out, you'll notice in my videos I have a 3-hour compilation of Couchdoodles. You don't have to watch it all 3 hours, but if you run it in the background for me, you're going to help me scoop up those hours and get me a little closer to being able to do super chats and other things that will help make this channel a bigger thing, a better thing. 2020 is a big year for us. We're going to have those 24 interviews. Other professionals, I would like to have an open invite for you guys to come and get interviewed too. Matt Yackey, you're asking, where was that at? Rihanna, hello. How are you? It's good to see you. I see you on Facebook every now and then. It's good to have you in on this. Sorry you're catching the back end of this because we're dwindling down. But like I was saying, we try to do this every night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. Mr. Yackey, this was actually near where you live. This was, in fact, if Harrison wasn't so grumpy, I was going to call you up and see if you wanted to go, but Harrison was throwing a slight fit. It was at a place called Auburn Avenue Research Library. So it was on the corner of Auburn and I want to say Courthouse, I think. What did you do for pattern? Keeman, Moni Arts. I did a repeated arm with slight changes to show that when you have an arm in this position, my beautiful non-defined arm, soon to change because I'm going to get fit. If you do something like turn just turn your wrist like this, how the peak points do a subtle change. Your bicep, it happens in your deltoid, it happens a lot in here. So it kind of diminishes, that the twist diminishes as it goes, but the twist does happen. And a lot of times in stiff drawings, you'll notice that the person will turn the wrist, but none of the rest of the stuff corresponds, so it kind of looks kind of funky. So the pattern I did was the idea of repeated arms. So it's not necessarily Inktober drawing. I ended up turning it into a drawing lesson. Maz Green, you are in Italy and it's 6 a.m. Hello, my friend in Italy. I love Italy. If I could retire and say this is where I'm going, there is a place in your country called Reggio Emilia. It is in between Modena and Parma, as you probably know. Best food, best beverages, best everything, best scenery, best all. Close enough to go through the Alps and go to Rome, go to Florence, all those things. I love your country. I love it. Been there 5 times. Love that place. Brian, I appreciate you doing that, man. I have to close to 8K community art. That's awesome, man. That is excellent. 8K is huge. If you ever want to send some of your guys my way, please do. Rihanna, come in and visit more often. It's good to see your face in here. Yeah, Matt, I knew it was close to you because I knew I saw by the geography. I was like, yo, I'm near Matt. But Harrison had a slight meltdown because I'm a dad, and what I should have done, because we went early, we left at like 4 o'clock to be there in order to catch Rakim start talking at 6. I should have brought snacks, man. I just should have brought snacks. He was having a meltdown because he was hangry. Little man was hangry. So I ended up bouncing out. He got sushi out of the deal, which is great. Kevin, you're also in my same time zone, so you're tired. You're tired like I'm tired. I got a beer to finish, as you can see by the sweat on my beer, my weed-flavored beer. That I got to finish that beer, and I will. And I might enjoy some of the Earth's finery. All right. Any more questions? This is the last opportunity we have for questions. All things are open. I'm an open book. You're putting together another Art Chan review. Is that like an Art Channel review? Because if you'd like to review this channel, I'd be more than happy to have you do it. My son was watching me earlier. He loves watching you draw. That's awesome. Hopefully he likes to draw as well, because drawing, man, I'll tell you, it is it's an incredible outlet for many reasons. I can say I was drawn to drawing. There are a lot of factors, almost like the universe was pushing me that way. But I could say honestly, if I grew up in today's day and age, I might not be drawing. There are so many ways and easy ways to be distracted and have a lot of those imagination itches scratched with the internet and with YouTube and with video games and things. I can see how my kids would be bored by drawing. Fortunately, my daughter and my son love to draw. They feel like it's a natural thing, but drawing is a great resource, and especially if you have things in your mind that you want to get out or things you want to express. I want to move to Sonoya and live in the Walking Dead town. You should come out, man. It's not far from me. We could hang out. I'd love it. Matt Yackey's here. Andre Kromov's here. Adam Hughes is here. Louis LaRosa is here. Mark Brooks is here. Mark Simon's here. Kevin Mellon's here. And if anybody that's here watches this, Paul Jenkins is here. There's a lot of people here in Georgia. It's kind of amazing. You can feel it in the air. It reminds me of living in the Bay Area when I used to live up by San Francisco. Lot of I am on it. Sticky, thank you for asking. I am both on Instagram and Twitter. The name is Couchdoodles. You can find Instagram is Couchdoodles. Twitter's Couchdoodles, spelled the same way it is on the show. My old Twitter account was suspended due to copyright problems. In fact, I want to see. We can take a look. Actually, you won't be able to see it, but I'll be able to see it. I got a message while we were on saying something to the effect of YouTube copyright was claimed in live drawing session. Wait a second. Copyright owner, live drawing session. Let's see. Let's see which video that is, because if there's a live drawing session on our channel, more than often, let's see. I'm gonna have to find the one that they're talking about, because I keep all my music that you hear playing right now is music that I composed. Only one of the songs has samples, but the sample is so small, it's a beat and a bass line, everything else. So I want to see what happens. And Sticky Art, I'm going to follow your channel as well. In fact, I'm going to join in here from, where we at? This is, here we are. I'm going to find the one that oh man, I can hear myself. I hate that. Let's do this. Sticky Art, go to your channel. I'm going. There you are. Subscribe. I have now subscribed to Sticky Art. Bam. Hello. I love anybody that pushes the education and getting people on board, because there's so many pitfalls and traps, not necessarily purposeful traps out there, but there are a lot of roads you can go down artistically that'll get you in the churn and get you nowhere. And I am here to trailblaze and be your man with a red umbrella so you can just get through like a lighthouse. No, it wasn't the Spawn comic, Akuma. It was saying it was a music thing and saying something about symphonic. And it said live drawing session. So what might have happened is it might be an old video that has stuff in the background. But I'm not monetized, so I don't even know why they care. But that's it. Matt Yaki says benefits from showing comics. I hope not. I hope not. I hope it's not showing comics, because guys, that's what we're gonna do. But it's not. We looked at it. It again. Here, I'll read it to you. That way we can be a community and be a team. It says, "Hi, Couchdoodles. A copyright owner using Content ID claims some material in your video. This is not a copyright strike. This claim does not affect your account status. There are either ads running on your video with revenue going to the copyright owner, or the copyright owner is receiving stats about your video's views. Video title, live drawing session, copyrighted content, Symphorin, claim by Believe Music. View claim details." So we're going to go check out claim details right now. Let's see. Boom. There we go. This is the boring stuff. Let's see what they have to say. We'll find out. It just took me to it literally took me to YouTube, but did not take me anywhere other than that. It's just cycling on this. We'll get to the bottom of it, but it's a music claim, so we'll take care of it. Do I use Skillshare? I haven't used Skillshare yet, but I'm a big fan of the idea that I have a saying that I call skill trade. Every now and then, someone will ask me to do something. It's something that I propose to musicians sometimes. Something I talk to Rakim about. Something I talked to some of the guys that I met today about. Like, so if, let's say, Professor Griff wants me to do something for his comic book, because Professor Griff from Public Enemy has a comic book, I would say, okay, well, you want me to do a cover for you. X is my cover rate. What is your remix rate? And I'd say, I will draw a cover for you if you remix one of my songs. And then he can say he has a Fragaboom cover, and I can say I have a Professor Griff remix, and it didn't cost us anything. We traded skills. So I like that. But Skillshare, I want to check that out. Let us know. Sticky Art, come back and tell us your thoughts. You can only fight it when the video is still up. I will do that, Mr. Denim. All right, we are at the end of today's stream. I'm tired. I gotta wake my kids up in 5.5 hours, so that means that's how much sleep I get. And I have a full day of storyboarding tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. Doom Patrol Season 2, Episode 1. Can't tell you what happens, but it's gonna be awesome. Hopefully you guys catch the show. What else? If you guys see an ad for Coles with Sierra dancing, a la the Soul Train line for 9 West. This guy drew that before it existed. One of these days I'll start sharing some of those storyboards so you can see the process of how a storyboard turns into live action or animation. Sorry we did not do a comic review, but it's late. So thank you so much, as always, for joining today. I've had a blast. Like I said, I almost didn't do it because I was tired, but we got you guys. My friend Rihanna DeMarco, there she is. Thank you again for joining. Say hello to your son. Thank you for drawing. Talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful night. We are going out on the Fragaboom.
DMC in the place to be, Fragaboom!